Welcome back, my Earthforce friends. I'm your host, CF, and this is another episode of CFTactics. In this episode, I'm going to address a great question posed by one of my viewers about attacking the Buildbots. Those pesky little space takers that seem so innocuous, but can really mess up a player's strategy. As I had noted in my previous video, Understanding Power Cores, Part 2, Base Cores, Buildbots are the only building other than the headquarters that have multiple cores available. And since that video, 3 more were added that address the elemental damages as well. Totarak, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, asked how to address these pesky little buildings. Well, I'll admit, my initial gut reaction was adjust your team. But then I stopped and seriously considered the question, and that got the gears rolling. First of all, let's understand the Buildbots. They're often underrated utility buildings that obviously assist you in upgrading your base. But since HQ 17 Plus, they seem to be much more than that. They've become a defensive utility with the addition of Buildbot cores. These cores are as varied as the headquarters ones are. The question posed by Totarak was strategies taking these out. He gave the scenario that he'll be using Acid Storm to one-shot them out, but how to address them when they offer acid resistance, the Antidote Zone core. And this is where I want to evaluate your squad. I'm not criticizing his tactic or squad build, but it sounds as if he's not generalized his team for more impactful scenarios. Some of the major issues that can come about from this are the placement of the Buildbots on the base themselves, because they can be either really close up or they can be really far away, and this placement needs to be taken into consideration. Are those Buildbots supplementing other structures like Zone Heal or Force Field Disruptor, or in Totarak's scenario, Ray Blockers, which prevents healing? This is why I really think it's a problem with squad composition. So how do we address such things? This is where ranged, warrior, or special classes can come into play. As you can see from this layout, the Buildbots are in a kill zone. We have 2 force field disruptors, a waterproof zone, an antidote zone, and a zone heal. Ranged attacks. A lot of people don't take these into consideration, but ranged attacks can really help you in scenarios like this, because you don't even have to come close to some of the defenses or Buildbots in this case, where it would disable your abilities or disable your force shields, and you can take them out rather easily. Lugnut, Alito 1 for the Autobots. They have the range and the power to drop in on a Buildbot and obliterate it immediately. Half Shell, that's Roadbuster for the Autobot players. They have the range to one-shot almost at any level a Buildbot, and in this case, I attacked the waterproof core. Terrormander, or Topspin for the Autobots. His ranged attacks can hit the Buildbots early up front on the base, and yeah, it might take 1 or 2 hits, but it'll be gone before the rest of the team gets deployed. Deathsaurus, or Starsaber for the Autobots. Like Lugnut and Alito 1, he's got the power and range to destroy from afar and everything in between him and his target. Blastoff, or Firefly for the Autobots. At higher levels, a terrific one-shot aerial class bot. He can even come back and hit multiple targets. but that can get expensive. Obviously, there are other ways to address these pesky and irritating little buildings, but in this case I offered this set of ranged attacks. I hope this helped started to answer your questions, Tatarak. I know it's not comprehensive, but I do hope it's a start. No doubt I'll follow this up with more scenarios and tactics to address your question. It's sadly not an easy answer. So there's one potential answer to the question of bashing out the Buildbots. Tatarak, again, I really hope this has begun to help you. If this did help you, or any of my other viewers out there, please like and subscribe. I've been your host CF, and this has been another episode of CFTactics. See you on the battlefield.